There are a lot of property gurus online that will take you through a step-by-step guide of how to find cheap properties on Rightmove. Now, I'm not saying that you can't find cheap properties on Rightmove. However, as soon as a cheap property does go on Rightmove, it basically transforms itself into a big juicy steak that investors are all fighting over. And don't kid yourself in thinking that there's not a lot of investors looking for property. There are literally hundreds, if not thousands of investors looking for property in every single area of the UK that you can think of. That's why I want to give you 3 ways and 3 strategies that you can use to find properties that nobody else knows about. The first way is knocking on neighbours' doors of rundown properties. This is the best way to find the owner of a rundown property because often neighbours know who they are, have their phone number, and let's face it, want to get this problem sorted because if they're living next to a rundown house, all they're interested in is somebody making it look nicer. So if you, as an investor, present yourself as someone who is going to make this house look a lot nicer, they're going to be so happy they're going to practically throw the number at you if they have got it. They may not be in touch with the owner. However, they might have important information. For example, we don't have the number, but we know that they come to the property every day at 10 a.m. or every Sunday at 10 a.m. If you have this information, what are you going to do? You're going to make sure you're there at Sunday at 10 a.m. speaking to the owner of the property and finding out what has happened. Now, if you can't get in touch with the neighbour or the neighbours don't know the person that owns the property, you could put a letter through the door. Is this an effective strategy? It can be. However, if they haven't sold the property and they've let a property go to waste and it's run down, it's probably because they don't trust an agent or the house is in a really bad state of repair and they're a bit ashamed, or they just simply don't know what to do and they're a bit anxious about it. So you sending a letter may prompt a response if you word it correctly. However, if you can get their number or you can meet them in person, or if you can say the neighbour has given me your number, it's kind of just a bit more personal than a letter. So the first point of call would be knock on neighbours. If that fails, then write a letter, but make sure that that letter is personal. It tells them who you are and exactly what you do. Do not lie in the letter. Tell them exactly who you are and what you do and why you want to buy their property. And show some interest in it, show some love for the property, and make sure that you can reassure them. It's going to be a fast sale. We'll walk you through the process. We will do any tidying of the house that needs doing, etc., etc. The second strategy that I would incorporate is speaking to tradespeople, builders, binmen, postmen. The best way to find deals is through people, and especially people that are seeing and working with people in property. You really have to ask yourself who has the best knowledge of a local area and who sees rundown houses that might be potentially a goldmine for yourself. Well, postmen see lots of houses as they deliver. Approach a postman, approach a binman and say, hello, this is what we do for a living. We offer a finder's fee, £500, £1,000. If you were to find a rundown property for us and we buy it, if we end up buying it, we'll give you £1,000 for introducing us to that property. And often if you ask a postman or a binman this, they'll tell you 2 or 3 in the neighbourhood that are really run down, and there's your first potential leads. Offer your number to them, and if they come across anything on their travels, tell them to let you know. And then you go and you speak to the neighbours, you post a letter through, and we build relationships from there. Handymen are a great trade to ask this question to because often handymen work directly with landlords. Now, builders will come across some properties, but usually builders are working with people that are holding on to properties and making them look nice and potentially already going to put them on the open market and sell them on Rightmove, etc. Well, we don't want that. We want people that are working with landlords that potentially are fed up with the properties. Now, a landlord has to have a handyman at least because they have to have maintenance done, boilers checked, gas certificates, etc., etc. They have to have little bits and bobs done. So handymen are great people because they will have contacts with landlords and they will inevitably work with landlords. So if you can say to a handyman, hey, do you work with any landlords that are fed up of the property at the moment? Often they would say, actually, yeah, we've got some landlords that I work for and he can't be bothered anymore, he's just going through the motions. And say, great, would you be able to introduce us or tell him that I'm interested in buying properties? And if you build up the relationship with people, handymen, etc., then they will introduce you. But it's so vital that you have interpersonal skills. If you just walk up to a handyman and say, hey, do you work with any landlords that have any tired properties? He's going to go, no. But if you work with them and you walk up to them and you say, hi, my name's Grant, I see you're a handyman, that's so good. I wish that I had more skill in being able to do this, that, the other. And give them a few compliments, because what they do is great. And say, I'm a landlord, I've got properties, I need handymen all the time, would you be able to work for me at all? And if he says yeah, and you give him some business, and you compliment his skills, and you get a conversation going, ask him, is he local? Have you always lived in the... get a rapport going with them. It's not being fake. It's just having interpersonal skills and being genuinely interested in someone else in and around property. And if you can do this, then inevitably, if they have a contact, a landlord that's fed up of a property, and they have you as a contact and you want to buy property, they'll happily bring the two together. The third strategy I would incorporate to find houses off market is social media. Such a powerful tool, and you must use it if you have a business. Now, it is a marathon, not a sprint. What I mean by this is, you are not going to put a Facebook status saying, does anybody you know want to sell a property off market? You might get an inquiry, someone might say yes, but I doubt it. However, if you post the right content on the right social media platforms regularly enough, then people are going to start to remember that you're the guy or girl that buys property off market quickly, maybe for a reduced price. This is your marketing, and what you have to do is to push those incentives forward so they remember next time someone says, oh, I want to sell my property but I can't be bothered with estate agents, that you're the guy that offers the incentive, that you offer a really quick sale, that you're a cash buyer, that you offer a fair price, that you'll pay the legal fees, etc., etc. Offer the incentives to them. This is something that we do as a company. When we buy off market, we can say to the seller, we can indemnify searches, which means that usually the selling process and the buying process, it takes 12 weeks, but that's because your solicitor has to go away and get all these searches from the council and and it takes forever because councils are slow. So what you can do is indemnify the searches, which means that you can actually buy a house within 3 weeks, and to some people that's so important. We offer a fair price, and we offer a quick sale, and we offer to pay for any of the seller's solicitor's fees. So this means that the offer that they get 100% of that. There's no estate agent's fees, no nothing. So if you can offer these incentives, then inevitably people are going to remember they can do that for me, and next time they want to sell, they'll come to you. So our company does do this. We buy houses off market quickly for a fair price, and if you know someone that does want to sell off market, or you yourself want to sell a property off market and you want to sell to us, then drop me a message on Instagram, drop me a message in the comments. It doesn't really matter where you get in touch. Just get in touch with me and we can have a conversation and we can see what we can do for you. Now, I hope that these 3 strategies have been useful, and I hope you're going to use them in your property journey, because they are very, very powerful tools. And remember, you do not want to be fighting with everybody on Rightmove for the next deal. It is not the place to find your deals. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.